Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're underneath the Ram today doing some basic maintenance here. This truck's got 76 or so thousand miles on it, and we're going to be changing out the differential oil. We're just about due. I think the manual says somewhere around 70 to 90,000 miles. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I thought I'd bring you guys along. We're also going to be installing an aftermarket diff cover on here, just to give it a little extra capacity, make it better for towing. So first thing that you're going to do is gather up all your tools, and for this all my bolts are 1/2 inch, which is nice. And then the drain plug on here, which surprisingly it actually has one. This is a metric size 14 hex, and it's basically like an Allen key. But anyway, I have this one that pops onto my ratchet, and the drain plug is right over here on this side. I'll get you guys set up so you have a better view of what we're doing here, and hopefully not make a gigantic mess. I've got my catch pan ready to go. Usually with these things they don't have drain plugs, and then you got to make a giant mess on them by trying to pop the cover off. Hopefully that's not a left-hand thread or something. Jeez, that's tight. Alright, there we go. Okay, now she's loosening up. I'm going to go ahead and just pop the ratchet off of there. Finish this out by hand, so hopefully I don't drop the plug. I have someplace here on my rag to go with the plug. Hopefully I don't drop the plug in the pan. Alright, hold it up there, and up there we go. That actually doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty clean still. So we're going to let this finish draining out and then go to work on some of these bolts here. So one thing I didn't show you guys that I had to do beforehand is this Ram has these weird little attachments here. You can see that pretty well. That actually slides over this stud, and this is looks like it goes to the parking brake. It's an insulated line. There's one on both sides. There's actually 3 total. One of them was right on the top of the differential, and then one on each side down here. And the one on top's a little bit different, but same principle. I just had to work those off with this flat blade screwdriver. The aftermarket cover comes with its own hardware, and it does not have studs for these 3 holes, so we're going to have to come up with some sort of a method to secure this wire. Probably just maybe zip tie up here at the top or something like that. It's secured like every 4 inches anyway. Seems like a bit of overkill. But if y'all decide to do this, you can do it however you want, because it's your truck. Alright. Well, you can definitely smell that it's gear oil. I'm just going to start loosening a few of these. Looks like I might need a short socket. Oh, I'm definitely going to need a short socket. Well, I thought I gathered all the tools that I needed before I started this, but apparently I'm going to have to go grab a different socket. Alright, back with my short half-inch socket. I'll start trying to get some of the rest of these that I didn't already get. Boy, Ram did not make this easy to service, which, you know, kind of seems to be the trend nowadays with anything automotive related. Alright, let's see how we're looking here. And we're still draining a fair bit of fluid out of there. The wind's trying to blow my fluid away too. I should have grabbed a bolt tray also. Well, that's got a lot of RTV on it. I'm gonna let that drain a little more and go grab my bolt tray. I'll move you guys back over here. So another thing I found interesting about this is when I was looking at aftermarket covers and what different people had posted online how to do this job, they don't have an actual gasket for this. Seemed really weird. I've always known you could use silicone for that gasket, or RTV, but yeah, usually it's optional. Usually they have a gasket. But this is my first time working on a Chrysler rear end, so maybe that's normal for Chrysler. I was impressed that there's a drain plug on it. Most of these don't have them from the factory. That was one of the reasons I actually ordered an aftermarket diff cover, because I thought I needed to add a drain plug to it. But to my surprise, it had one, which is actually kind of nice, because these are a pain in the butt. If you don't have a drain plug, you have to take out all of your bolts except for the top two. And the top two you just leave kind of centered in there, and then you have to come back around and, oh nice, that came out. You have to come back around and pry your cover off after you leave these top two. And I'm actually going to do this anyway. I'm going to loosen up these top two. And I've loosened them up. Let me see if I can get you in here and see. So you can see I've got that. This bolt right here is partially backed out. Not by a lot, but a little bit. And I'll do the same thing on this one. Back it out, and then I'll finish taking out the rest of the bolts. And then once I have those out, I'll use something to pry the bottom of this cover loose so that whatever remaining oil is in here can drain out. And hopefully we won't make a mess everywhere. Doing good so far. I don't know if you hear it, but that bolt was squeaking. There's so much RTVs on it. Kinda crazy. You know what else I should do? I should go grab the hardware for my new Diff cover and try it out just to make sure it fits in one of these holes. I mean, it doesn't matter. Worst case scenario, I gotta put the stock Diff cover back on, I guess. Alright, let's see. And, you know, when you want to start prying on this, you definitely want to use an appropriate pry tool, like a screwdriver. I thought I had a scraper out here. I guess I set it down somewhere. And you gotta just try and figure out where you can actually purchase some real estate here to get a hold of this thing. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it takes a little rubber mallet. Kind of knock it loose. That's working pretty good though. You just want to pry it free. And it helps come over here to the other side. And pry it free over here as well. Did I leave a... Oh, I left a bolt in. That's why it's not coming loose over here. Alright, look at that. All the bolts out of it. I bet this will probably free a lot easier now. Oh, looky there. Completely loose. Ton of silicone on it. That's great. That's going to be easy to clean up. Alright. I'm just going to let this drain. And I will be right back. I'm going to go get a scraper. And probably another rag. Alright. Made it back. So, what I did is I put a thin bead of the green gear oil gasket maker from Permatex around this plug. Basically it's RTV, but it's specially formulated for gear oil. So I put a thin coat of that around on the, well, a thin bead of it, and it should get dispersed as it's threaded in here. So we're going to thread this guy back in. Make sure you got the threads aligned. Twist that in. I'm not going to torque it all the way. We'll do that before we fill it up, just to make sure I don't squeeze all of that gasket maker out. Wipe some of that off. I think we're probably good to go ahead and take out these last two bolts here. Now when you get down to your last bolt, you definitely want to make sure you're holding this thing. Because otherwise it's going to drop in your oil pan and make a giant mess. Nobody wants that. Alright, I can't get my hand on there. Use the socket. I'm just going to push this up against the differential case. There we go. I think the weight of the pan was actually holding it in. Pop that out. Drop it in there. And then let's see how this is going to come off. Hopefully it will clear this bar. Yep. Perfect. It cleared the sway bar. I'm really hoping the new cover clears the sway bar. Okay. This new cover is cast iron and it's heavy. And that just started dripping again. What a turd. There we go. Wipe it off. Put a rag down just in case. I'm moving this just in case I drop something. I don't want it splashing into that oil pan. Oh no, that's what I was afraid of. I don't think this is going to fit past that sway bar. Shoot. Oh, that just popped my shoulder. There's no way. No way it's gonna clear. Alright, so to get this cover on, I'm gonna have to remove this sway bar, or move it anyway. So, plan is to disconnect both ends and pivot it down out of the way. Hopefully that'll give me enough room to get that big aftermarket cover in. We'll see. Oh. Gonna be like that, do you? There we go. All right. Huh. Well, I don't know, but we're gonna see. Alright, maybe this time I got enough room. Aha. Okay. Alright. We can do this. I'm gonna grab 2 bolts. Keep them here real handy. Okay, there's my case. So 2 bolts in my mouth, and then grab the case cover. Okay, here we go. it is installed. There we go. You get a good look at it. Good shot of what it looks like. Looks very good. I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna really hard to tell what you're looking at there. Anyway, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean off the rest of this crud up here that I got. All this RTV that's hanging around. I'm gonna clean that off. Get the sway bar hooked back up. That's exactly the opposite of the way it came off. And pick up all my tools. And we should be good to go to let it sit overnight. Camera overheated. I don't know how much you guys saw, but basically all I did is I finished hooking up the tie rod ends, which just involves putting the nuts back on there, putting a big end wrench on it, and then using a small end wrench on the little end there, which is I think like a 5/16, and then torquing them down. Did that on both sides. And I also read the directions again, which was really a good idea because apparently I had it completely backwards. So you're supposed to put this on, put the RTV on there, and then put everything on finger tight, which is basically what I did. And then it said to let it set approximately an hour and then come back and hit it to torque specs. So what I've decided to do, it's been about an hour, so I'm going to try and torque this down, and then after you torque it, it's got to wait 24 hours before you put fluid back in it. So we're going to torque this, we're going to torque the drain plugs, and then we're going to wait until tomorrow evening to put fluid back in it. Ooh, that one was not very tight. So it's the next day. It's been a little over 24 hours since we put this thing back together and torqued down all of these nuts, or bolts rather. We're gonna go back through, torque them all, make sure they're still good, make sure nothing loosened up. I don't see any other drips on this, which is great because I know there was a little bit of fluid left in there. I'm gonna give this a once over on all these bolts, and then we'll pull the fill plug and start filling it up. I don't know if y'all have ever done this before with the old school bottles, but I am really excited about having this little sack here. This looks so much better than the old bottle pump and pump method that you used to have to do. I've only done this on one other vehicle, but man, it was a pain in the butt. This is, holy moly, this is a piece of cake. Look at that. I'm just squeezing it straight in there. Seriously, if y'all ever do this, get these bags of gear oil. This is a game changer. Wow, what a piece of cake. That was awesome. Ooh, see, I leaked a little. Uh-oh. There's no way no way I got that full already. I think I got the nozzle a little out of the hole, a little sideways. There's a little trick that we've always done over the years. You take your Allen key, stick it in there, and then turn it, and then bring it back out, and you can check the bottom of it. See, there's no gear lube on the bottom of that Allen key. So I know it's at least this far down from the hole. And that's at the bottom of the hole. Yeah, wiggle it back and forth just to make sure I got it as low as possible. Yeah, there's still nothing on there. We're definitely not over full. This is quart number 3. Get it cut open. Got that sealed off completely. That makes me happy. What do I do with my spout? Here we go. All right. Kind of liking having this spare tire right here too. It gives me something to smush the bag up against. Ooh, there I'm leaking again. Oh, that's still running out. Oh, dang. Shoot, I can't be that full, can I? Oh, shnikes. Well, that was unplanned. Well, that was not what I wanted. Okay, I got her turned around. We're pointed downhill now. I also decided to throw the pan under here just in case. Now I think I'm gonna roll over here if I can. No, you know what? I need that. Yeah, here we go. Get my other Allen wrench. All right. Let's take this plug out. We shouldn't have anything leaking out this time. I think we lost all of it. Not really, just kidding. All right, make sure that's good and clean. Stick it in, turn it, drop it down, go back up. Okay, we have gear lube on this almost all the way up. All the way around. So we are pretty much full. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more out of this in there without making a mess. I think it's basically gone. What I was saying is it's nearly impossible to find exact capacity on this thing. And personally, I think it's because they don't really want you servicing your own stuff anymore. All right, I think I got everything, every drop out of that one. Oop, yeah, got a little dribble again. Oof, my glasses keep fogging up. It's getting hot out here. Try it with this Allen key, see if it gives me the same result. And yeah, I am getting a completely soaked key. It might get just a hair more in there, but I don't think so. I'll show you my perspective on it. You can see where I went up through this portion right here and just loop those zip ties together. Anyway, I am going to call this job done. I'll wipe that off one more time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for doing this job with me. And if you want to keep watching more content about this and about the 75 GMC, go ahead and give me a subscription or hit subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.